These are the streets that made Snoop Dogg famous, but in September 2015, those same streets kicked him out. The legendary rapper was reportedly run out of his own Long Beach neighborhood by members of the Rolling 20s Crips, the very gang he grew up in, and made millions representing in his music.
I think it was inevitable that you guys worked together on something, right?
Picture this. One of hip-hop's biggest icons, worth an estimated $160 million, getting told to bounce from his own hood by guys he used to run with? It sounds impossible, but according to multiple witnesses, that's exactly what happened when Snoop rolled through Long Beach with his security detail in tow. The man behind the confrontation goes by Big Flossy, a second-generation member of the Rolling 20s Crips who had some serious grievances with Calvin Broadus. Flossy wasn't just upset about Snoop's success, he was furious about what he saw as broken promises and forgotten loyalty.
Put Long Beach on the map. No, he didn't. As far as his gangster and his gang banging, we've been certified.
Here's what you need to understand about Snoop's real history with the streets. Born Calvin Broadus Jr. in Long Beach in 1971, Snoop joined the Rolling 20s Crips as a teenager despite his mother's efforts to keep him on the straight path. The Rolling 20s aren't just any gang, they're the second largest African-American criminal street gang on the east side of Long Beach, with approximately 350 members according to police testimony. Rolling 20 Sets territory sits primarily south of 21st Street, east of Long Beach Boulevard, and west of Orange Avenue. They became internationally known largely because of one member, Snoop Dogg, who put their name in platinum-selling records and made their colors famous worldwide. But Snoop's relationship with the streets was always complicated. In his own words, "I was always scared. That's why I believe I survived, because you have to either have fear or respect. And I didn't understand respect, so I feared everything." That fear might have saved his life, but it also created questions about his authenticity that would follow him for decades. The accusations against Snoop weren't new. Even back in the 1990s, rivals like Eazy-E questioned his street credentials. Some claimed he didn't really start banging until the Death Row era, suggesting his gang ties were more about image than reality. But unlike Dr. Dre, whose street cred was openly questioned, the accusations against Snoop never really stuck until now. Fast forward to 2015, and Big Flossy had reached his breaking point. According to Hood correspondent Christian Cornet, who witnessed the confrontation, Snoop just rolled through the hood and shit down Martin Luther King, about 3 or 4 cars deep with security, trying to show his presence. The homies were ready to blow his ass. They straight kicked Snoop Dogg off the hood. So what triggered this dramatic fallout? The beef centered around money, respect, and broken promises. Big Flossy accused Snoop of profiting from Rolling 20s references in his music without paying royalties back to the set. More damaging were allegations that Snoop had promised to fund youth programs and help broker peace between the Rolling 20s sects and their mortal enemies, the Insane Crips, but failed to follow through. The Insane Crips connection is crucial to understanding Long Beach gang politics. These two gangs, the Rolling 20s and the Insanes, are the largest African-American street gangs in Long Beach, and they hate each other with a passion that goes back decades. They were once united until the 1980s, when infighting split them apart, with the Rolling 20s claiming territory south of 21st Street, and the Insanes claiming everything north. What made Flossy even angrier was that Snoop had influence with both sides. Members from both gangs looked up to him, which meant he could potentially broker peace, but he wasn't using that power. Instead, according to Flossy, Snoop was living it up in Hollywood while his old neighborhood continued to tear itself apart. The specific incident that pushed things over the edge involved a record store where Snoop shot his first music video and recorded his first demo tape. When the owner needed $5,000 to keep the doors open and asked Snoop for help, the rapper allegedly refused. To Flossy and others, this symbolized everything wrong with Snoop's relationship to his roots. Even Snoop's charitable efforts came under fire. Big Flossy criticized the rapper for passing out leftover turkeys from Inglewood during a turkey drive in Long Beach, as if his own community was getting hand-me-downs from other neighborhoods. Snoop's response was swift and fierce. He took to YouTube to deny being kicked out, declaring, "Ain't none of you niggas put me on the set, and ain't none of you niggas kick me off the set." He positioned himself as someone who had evolved beyond street politics. "I'm doing positive things now. I'm enlightening homies and showing them how to get it a different way. That's what real big homies do. I refuse to put a pistol or a sack in my little homie's hands." The rapper proclaimed himself King of Long Beach and pointed to his legitimate contributions to the community. And honestly, his track record of giving back is impressive. The Snoop Youth Football League, founded in 2005, has had over 60,000 kids participate since it started. The league has produced legitimate success stories, including Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud, who Snoop talks about with obvious pride. But Big Flossy wasn't buying it. In a 2016 interview, he doubled down on his criticism, explaining that his frustration stemmed from Snoop not honoring their agreement to start nonprofit organizations specifically in Long Beach to help local youth. "This gang-banging shit is real. It ain't Hollywood and all that shit niggas talk about during the songs. He ain't lived that shit," Flossy declared. The controversy exposed a fundamental tension in hip-hop culture. When rappers make it big by representing their neighborhoods and gang affiliations, do they owe those communities financial compensation? It's a question that goes to the heart of authenticity versus exploitation in rap music. Interestingly, the two sides did reach a temporary resolution in September 2015. Snoop and Big Flossy posted a video together where Flossy said, "We came to a resolution. We gonna get the city right. That's what this was all about." But the peace didn't last, with Flossy renewing his criticism just months later. This whole saga reveals something deeper about success and loyalty in street culture. Snoop's story is supposed to be inspirational, kid from the hood makes it big, and gives back through legitimate channels. But for some in his old neighborhood, his success feels like abandonment. They see someone who built a fortune partly on their reputation, but moved on without bringing them along. The irony is thick. Snoop has demonstrably given back more than most celebrities who escape tough circumstances. His youth programs have literally saved lives and created opportunities for thousands of kids. But because he won't pay royalties to his former gang or fund specific street-level operations, he's seen as disloyal. Today, the relationship between Snoop and Long Beach appears to have stabilized. He performed at Rosie's Dog Beach in August 2024 for a concert that aired during the Paris Olympics closing ceremony. Most significantly, he's been announced as the inaugural performer for the new Long Beach Amphitheater in June 2025, a clear sign that the city has officially embraced their most famous son. Snoop has also expanded his community involvement with the launch of the Snoop and Hausch Flag Football League in partnership with the LA Chargers, bringing his youth development model to an even broader audience. The question of whether Snoop will never visit this hood has been answered. He's back, and he's being celebrated. But the controversy revealed something important about the complex relationship between hip-hop success and street loyalty. Sometimes the very communities that create legends struggle the most with letting them fly free. In the end, Snoop Dogg's story isn't just about one rapper's beef with his old neighborhood. It's about the price of success, the weight of representation, and the ongoing tension between where you come from and where you're going.